What's up everybody, and welcome back to the TheKaijuNerd-Toy reviews. The giant creature that we have today is Marvel Comics' own Apocalypse, but more specifically the Apocalypse from the hit 90s animated show X-Men the Animated Series. This figure itself is actually made by Hasbro, and it's a retrograde of the Marvel Legends toy line of their other Marvel figures. This figure right here is actually so retro that they actually made the packaging the way packaging was for figures in the 90s, but this one is just supersized, just overblown. It's actually, let me bring out the measuring tape. Let me see. It's about 14 inches tall and about 10.5 inches wide. That is a very big package. But let me just look at this, just look around the package real quick. You can see at the front you have Apocalypse here on the side. You got the figure, nice little window here, just like the 90s figures used to have. Got Uncanny X-Men title there, little Hasbro logo down there, and the Marvel Comics logo down there, with other Marvel characters that they made retrograde figures of. We also got, yeah, I actually opened this already, that's why it's kind of flimsy, but bear with me. So on the other side we have a picture of Apocalypse here. We got some writing in different languages about him. Got another picture of a pose of him right here. Another Uncanny X-Men title here, and some jargon down here. But that's enough about the packaging. Let's actually see what he looks like. And here he is, the mighty Apocalypse. Now, the reason why I classify this guy as a giant creature is because he actually has the ability to increase his size to, you know, kaiju level sizes, so I'm gonna count him as such. Like I said before, Hasbro makes this figure. And where you can get this, you can still get this figure on Hasbro Plus, not Hasbro Plus, HasbroPulse.com, and you can pick it up for around $38.99. As far as anywhere else, you can find it on eBay and Amazon, but you're most likely looking at a range from $40 to $50. You can also find this at some collectible shows or conventions. However, you're still going to be ranging from that $40 to $50 range, maybe even higher depending on whenever you go after this figure. As far as the recording of this video, it's still $38.99 on Hasbro Pulse. So let's talk about the paint of this figure. The body itself looks like it's just a matte paint all around. Just there's no blends, no details or anything like that. The only details you see are in the molds, like in the muscles around here, there, the muscles in the legs and all of that, the clothing ripples down here, the lines in the boots and the gauntlets right there. You can actually see some veins in there too, but again, that's the molding and not paint. So yeah, nothing too special about the painting in the body, but on the face though, you can see quite a significant amount of detail in the face. Hold on, let me do that right there. Yeah. So you can see a lot of airbrush lines in the face, so you can see the frowns on his forehead, the squints in his eyes right there to make him look really angry. That combined with the mold of the head and the, you know, the mold of his teeth, you can really see the grit. See him like really angry. All kinds of frowns and wrinkles. Very detailed. I guess Hasbro thought the face mattered more than the body as far as painting goes, but doesn't really matter. Still looks pretty good. Now, as far as accessories go, it came with quite a bit of accessories. number one, the tubes on the back, these like tendril tube things that connect to his belt and to his wrists. 2 of those came with the figure in the package. You also notice that he has 2 fists right here. You notice it comes with also an open palm that you can see right here. Let me just zoom in real quick. Focus. Okay, there we go. So you can see all that detail in there and that hand. You also get a blaster hand that you hook up to his hand, or to his wrists actually. And with this, you get some blaster effects that hook up to that blaster. There's the big one right there. Then you got these 2 little ones, like so. Let me see if I can focus on that. There we go. These 2 little blasters like that. So let me show you what that looks like in a minute. For the last accessory, we have an extra head. But this one is just a more stoic head. He's just kind of frowning a little bit, or just making just a, expressionless face. Same type of detail on the angry face. It's just the angry face has a lot more to look at since it's, actually showing more emotion. But let me show you what the blasters look like real quick. Let me just put that on. Yeah, you can do something like that. But I bet you want to see how it looks on the actual figure, so let's just do that. So first I gotta pop his fist off right there. Then I found out that I thought you could just go on like this with the gauntlet on. You can't do that. You have to actually take the gauntlet off. Yeah, see, like that. And that's a problem with these tendrils. The slightest movement can make it come off. So just be careful with that. So let's see, you can just do this. Like so. There. And that's what he looks like with the blaster and the angry face right there. Now let's switch his head out. Pop that off. And that's how he looks. Let me see. With the stoic face. Like so. Or if you don't like that, you can put the open palm on him. So this one, oops. Like that. Put the gauntlet back on. Put his hand back on. Let's put the angry face back on. Put his tendrils back in because they keep falling out. You can pose them like that. Put that back over here. And you can pose him like that. Makes him look like he's making a victorious speech or just a conquering speech just because, just because he's awesome. So, yeah. But now let's talk about my favorite part of the review. Articulation. Yes. So this figure of Apocalypse actually has 20 points of articulation. And we're going to start with the head first. So on the head, you can move sideways like here, like that. Sideways like here, like that. You can go up about this far. Let me just zoom in with that. You can move up that far. So it looks like that. Right there. Right there. Like that. As far as looking downward, you can move his head that far down, right into his collar right there. So on the side it looks like that. In the back it looks like that. And on the other side it looks like that. So basically his head can move quite a bit, but it's really just limited to the space of his collar. The other articulation points, we got my favorite part, butterfly joints, where the arms can actually spread out just like that. And just a quick pointer about these things come out very easily every time you move this figure. So my suggestion, if you're going to put them on, put these parts that bend like this and at almost a 90-degree angle, plug them up in the back like so. They still come out kind of easily, but they will come out even worse if you put that end on the arm part right here. So just food for thought. But anyways, butterfly joints, the arms can spread out as they should, and they can close in like so. Like that, like that. And there it goes again. You know what? I'm just gonna take these off because they are annoying. Another part of the articulation are the wrists. You can swivel like this, go 360 degrees. They can also bend upward like that, or downward like that. Then you got single jointed elbows, like so. Let me just, oops. Like so. They can bend like that. Same thing on the other arm. Make it bend like that, show off his bicep. Or you can go straight like that. He actually has a nice crunch too. Can you hear all that? So you can crunch like that. You can bend like that far, like so. He also has a twisting motion. I think you can go 360. Yeah, you can. However, when he twists, you can see his belt moving like that. The legs actually twist like so. I think they can do 360. Yeah. 360 there, 360 there. On the knees, they are actually double jointed. So you got that, right? You could do something like that first, and then you can do all the way like that if you want. Just like on the other leg, like that, and you can go all the way like that. As far as the leg moving like that, you can bring his leg all the way up that far. But you can't really move it back. That's about as far as the leg will move back, like that. You can do splits. That's about as far as you can get with that. And as far as the shins, or where they meet the feet, you can twist them around like so. Or you can move the toe like that. Some toe articulation right there. move it up like that. Same with the other foot. It's just a little difficult to do it sometimes, but you can do it. So yeah, that's been a look at the Marvel Legends Retrograde Apocalypse from Hasbro. Overall, I think this is a really good figure. It's actually probably my favorite Apocalypse figure out of all the ones that I have seen. I don't own any of the other ones, but I have seen them, like the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse or the Age of Apocalypse style Apocalypse with the cape and the bigger shoulder pads and stuff. This one speaks to me more, mainly because it comes from X-Men the Animated Series, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. And yeah, it has great articulation. I like the size of the figure too, which I think I neglected to mention is about 8 inches tall. And because of that, I believe it doesn't have any trouble like just standing. Like I can just place it somewhere and then it'll just stand and it won't really fall over. One other thing I like, the articulation is really good. I like the fact that it has butterfly joints. I like the fact that the head can move a lot. I can replace the actual head. That's another thing with the accessories. It actually has an extra head, extra hand. It has some blasters. So that looks pretty. That's pretty good. The only problems I would say for this figure is, number one, these tendrils right here. They keep popping off. if you move them, if you move the figure in the slightest, these things will pop off, and it gets really annoying. So, but another issue, I guess, not really, it's more of a nitpick, is that the elbows, they're only single jointed, even though the knees are double jointed. I never really understood that, but yeah, still a good figure. The crunch could be a little bit better, but it's not terrible. It doesn't make the figure terrible. So yeah, so as far as giving this figure a rating, I would give this about 4 stomps out of 5. And I really think it's worth the $38.99. I do not think it is worth the $50, or if you can find it for $50 on eBay or Amazon or a convention or something like that. I would stick to around, you know, the $38.99 to, let's say, $45 range. If you don't mind going a little over $45, that's fine, but I think $50 and higher is still too expensive for this thing right here. But yeah, that's been about it. If you've liked what you've seen here, please like and subscribe. If you would like to follow me on other platforms, I am on Twitter. I am also on Instagram under the name @TheKaijuNerd. And yeah, that's been about it. Thank you for watching.